most people, especially in the automotive space, they came from nothing. Has ever tried to look into a camera and talk to it as if you know what you're talking about? It is really hard, especially if you don't know what you're talking about. I actually haven't talked about this at all.
Do you have any NDA before you get into that?
I don't think so. They can drive. They can drive the hell out of cars. They have really good cinematography. They have storyline. Everything is really, really, really good. I think being boisterous about your own achievements, it's just such a bad trait to have as a human being. Just him and his dad is everybody.
Relationship I never had with my brother.
I became a millionaire at 19. It's like, did you really?
Yeah.
Did you really?
That's probably, you guys probably know who I'm talking about.
Most people won't notice the moment it begins. Damage won't ask permission. Protection shouldn't either. When the danger's invisible, the shield should be too.
I don't consider him doing the same thing that we do. I think it's a different thing.
Yeah, it's different. It's just funny because every now and then we have in the cars and coffee space. By the way, it turns out that I found out that other areas with cars and coffees do have competing cars and coffees where like
do they?
Organizers don't like each other. I found out.
Of course, of course. It's politics all the time.
It's not just Central Florida, but for the most part in Central Florida, there's 4 or 5 of us. We're all fine, and there's like 1/6 guy who nobody likes anymore.
Yeah.
Because he's like, there's this one guy.
We all know the guy. Yeah. We all know.
He's always
conniving. We know. We're looking at you. You're watching.
Yeah.
You're watching. If you think it's you, it's you.
Yeah. The type of person to send cease and desist letters. Literally, right?
Yeah.
So it's just funny because the YouTube space is huge, and I've never really gotten that feeling about YouTubers being petty or competitive. There was one instance. I don't know if we can talk about it.
Sometimes though, but I think sometimes, I don't know if this happens with you, but sometimes the followers are actually the ones who I've seen have instigate
Oh, they
stuff.
definitely.
Like
definitely
for example, being an American muscle myself and Mustang guy, there was when the GT500 came out, there were 2 shops that were doing the tuning on these GT500s.
The shops are bad.
And oh my God, was it like, it was like Team Blue and Team Red.
Yeah. Wow.
And let me tell you, like, people would like, almost want to duke it out. Yeah. And the guys from the shops are like cool with each other. Yeah. But it was the followers that were like, I'm with this person, I'm with this, and it just,
I wouldn't let that shop switch on an air filter.
Correct. Yeah.
It's funny because I think it's the same mentality as kids have when they get a gaming console for Christmas.
Oh God!
So if you got, back in the day, if you got a PlayStation or a Nintendo, you were locked in because you're not getting another one.
Yeah.
Like that was your identity.
Yeah.
Ride or die PlayStation.
Yeah, ride or die. It's like, and you had to find ways.
Fight somebody.
I will fight somebody. It's like, oh, you think N64 is better? With your cartridges. They got a CD. Yeah.
You have no full motion video.
Yeah, exactly. No full motion video.
Your audio stinks.
And then Nintendo was like, well, we got Mario. We got 64 bits. What are you doing with those 32 bits?
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater sucks because your soundtrack is like 30 seconds per song.
Oh yeah. How about you with your analog stick and you're like,
That's why we got dual sticks.
The dual sticks. Who needs dual? You just need one. Need one and a Z button in the back.
The Z button on the 64.
That's how you do a backflip. Z and A. Yeah. So I think it's that mentality is people are locked in, and then they start choosing teams. But that does happen in YouTube space. There are people. I mean, I know, like the aforementioned DDE's gotten in some.
That's what I was gonna. Yeah.
Some issues with like other YouTubers, but like ultimately it doesn't matter. I don't think anybody like pursues it. I don't think anybody, like it's one of those like cooler heads prevail, but everybody that wants drama, they're like pushing one way or the other. I don't care. Like people have tried to get me into drama, get to like cancel me or something like that. I'm like,
cancel you?
Yeah, I don't care. Like I was on the Iced Coffee Hour podcast, and it was like about my divorce and how much money I spend on all the shops and stuff, and like that. It got like 1 million views.
Yeah,
because people were like, I want to know what happened. I want to know what his life is like. Like it's just a regular guy, you know. Like it's like stuff happens, you know.
Everybody gets, not everybody, but like 50% of the country gets divorced.
Yeah, but
you want to know everybody else's divorce.
But it's like you know, people when you have a lot of followers, and I am in this space. You know, I have 3 million subscribers, and that is small fish in terms of YouTube. Like there are YouTubers.
Well, Mr. Beast,
I mean, Mr. Beast has 400 million subscribers. Like there are people with 10, 20, 30, you know, whatever. Like 3 million subscribers. Like in the car space, it might feel like something, but in the like, I can walk around, you know, where we are right now, and it won't be a problem. Like I'll get recognized every day, you know, a few times, but it's not anything where I can't go to the store,
right?
You know, but like Mr. Beast can't go outside anymore.
No.
Right,
like that's it. He just can't. Like his interaction with reality can no longer exist.
It's weird. I don't mean to bring this up, but you're absolutely right, because, and I think I've told you the story before. He invites people to his house.
Mm-hmm.
My brother went to his house, and that was like this 3-4 day thing they did to play basketball. It was like a little summit basically of similarly minded people and entrepreneurs, and exactly what you're saying. Like he can't go out.
Yeah,
he has to invite people, you know, to some place that they rent. And there's like 20 people that descend, and they hang out for 3-4 days, and everybody goes their separate ways.
There's logistics involved.
Yes, which is
so
you know, crazy.
Even for like us that we run shows, I mean, we're not out on YouTube, and we are Instagram more or less and stuff like that. But like, for example, last December, I went to visit my in-laws in Georgia, and I was at the Buc-ee's there in, what is it, Macon, near Macon?
Yeah.
Warner Robins, I think is the name of the town. And I'm washing my hands in the bathroom, and he's like, "Hey, you're the Cars and Coffee guy, right?"
That's random.
And I was like,
That's so funny.
Yeah. He's like, "Yeah, you're Winter Garden." He's like, "I've been to your show, and I've seen you, you know, on Instagram." And I'm like, "Okay, you know, it's like all the way out there."
That's
That's
crazy.
random.
And
That's
I told
awesome.
my wife, I was like, "Hey, some guy just, you know, just recognized me for the Cars and Coffee." And so even, you know, I did a couple of YouTube with my GT500. And I stopped at when it had about 1,500 subscribers. I didn't keep pushing it. I was just too busy. But, you know, I would put my little girl sometimes would say, "Hey, you know, welcome to my daddy's channel," in the car and whatnot. And sometimes we stopped, and people would be like, "Hey, you're the guy from YouTube." Or people would be like, when they wrecked the car, they were like, they wrecked Hector's car. And people didn't even know. But it's crazy how that works. But I don't know if it happens to you. But
it happened one time. I was with Jack, funny enough, at Hawkers, and there was this other YouTuber who mostly does bikes.
Okay.
So I was with Jack, we're eating, and there's this other guy, and he looks at Jack, he looks at me, and I think the reason why he recognized me as well was because I was in the videos with you and Ben Collins when we were doing the Copart videos. Yeah. And he recognized Jack as well. He's like, "Where's Freddie?"
That's funny.
Cars and Coffee, just the locals in Central Florida will recognize me just because they know my cars.
Yeah.
And they know I'm a Cars and Coffee guy, but I've never gone outside of Central Florida and been recognized.
Yeah. For me, it was crazy. And I think even with like this podcast, you know, people start looking at it and watching it, and then it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
But
That's the thing that's crazy is that, like, nowadays, like, you don't need a label and a manager and you need to get lined up with this TV show to, like, anyone can, like, make a platform and almost become famous.
That's
absolutely.
crazy. Jay Leno, right?
Yeah.
He's never had an agent, never had a manager. It's just him
Yeah.
and his wife, right?
Yeah.
She helped somehow?
I don't know. I know that he has like a producer that does stuff for his YouTube channel. Really, really nice guy named David.
And all the bookings, the comedy stuff.
But
TV show,
it's funny because I just talked to Benedict Fowler, who does the Road to Success podcast.
he got Jay Leno in his van.
So I gave him the number to David.
Okay.
And he called him because Ben just called me that morning.
I had a feeling you were involved with that.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know how to get, if I can get Jay. I've WhatsApped his producer. But do you guys use WhatsApp a lot? I'm like, yeah, probably not. I'm like, just message him like iMessage or SM, like just a text or something.
Yeah.
So then, like an hour later, he was like, I'm on my way over there. We're going to do the podcast. And, and I'm like, cool. And well, just a quick aside to the kind of like awesome person Jay Leno is. He will give people his time, which is incredibly valuable, by the way. And he will do things if he feels like it's worthwhile. Like he might not know who you are, but like if he gets a vibe that like, hey, you're a good person or whatever, he's very supportive. Like he's called me several times, which is nuts, which is like absolutely insane that he would, call me saying, hey, I just bought a W1. And because I think I texted him saying like the day before the McLaren W1, the new hypercar came out, there were like some really bad renderings of it.
Yes.
And then I sent it to him and I'm like, hey, like, what do you think? He's like, wow, that looks like crap. And then the next day he calls me and goes, I just bought one. Yeah. because the real ones came out.
The real ones in full color.
Yeah.
And you got the idea of the proportions
of
the car.
And it looked way better. And he's like, yeah, I just bought one. And then, and he said this a few times. He said the tax on a McLaren W1 is more than the cost of a Corvette ZR1X.
That makes sense.
So
it's $2.5 million, and you're in Los Angeles, almost 9% tax, right?
Yeah. So and then bringing that over, and then whatever the tariff is going to be. So
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, but I mean that the kind of person that he is insane, and the fact that I got to spend time with him and people like him because of doing YouTube. I mean, that's what I do this for. Like whatever negativity or like drama or something, I try to stay out of it. I don't think anybody else really cares either, because most people, especially in the automotive space, they came from nothing.
Yeah.
Even if you're rich, even if you grow up rich or your family has money or whatever, everybody starts with 0 subscribers. Everybody starts with no following, and they have to build that up. Yeah. Being rich and then having access to those things only gets you so far if you don't have a personality.
Yeah. Money can't buy you real subscribers.
That's true.
No, I mean, honestly, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't, again, like the some people and some companies actually think that the like relatability is like the kind of cars you drive and the kind of cars you work on. I remember a company, like a really, really big prominent company, saying like they wanted to work with me on something, on a sponsored deal, but then I said, yeah, I would love to do it on one of my P1 videos. And they said, well, we don't think it's relatable. And I'm like, so this is the most popular series I've ever done. This is literally the most relatable thing I've ever done. So it's not about the net worth of the person or the money that the car is worth. It is the personality of the person. So like Jay Leno is relatable, but he's very rich.
I mean, yeah, because he's always wearing denim, everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But he's relatable because you understand that he's a car guy that understands that like, $2 million is really, really expensive, but also to most people, $100,000 is also very, very expensive. He can bridge that gap, and you can talk about like, well, in this context, this is, this is nice. In this context, this is nice. And he's had this wealth of experience, and he's still the guy that has to, grind to make money, even though, he makes a lot of money, but he's still working every single day.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the cool thing about Jay Leno's Garage. And since it was an online website before it ever was on YouTube.
Yes.
I mean, he has something he'd be reviewing something like a Lotta. I don't know if he's ever done a Lotta, but maybe. He'd review something that's $1,000, $2,000, no matter what. And then, obviously he's got the opportunity to present all of us with his first impressions of a P1 or a W1,
Yeah.
We want to see all that, right? We grew up watching Top Gear,
correct,
for that very reason, because we want to see the supercars do their supercar-y things. Yeah. But at the same time, we want to see a Lotta get smashed or a Lotta race against a dog, which was a Top Gear thing, if you remember that episode. Hey, so I travel every now and then, and there's one thing that I always love to do is I like to see the local car scene. Yeah. Whether I'm going to Savannah, Georgia, I'm going to Charleston, I go to Los Angeles, or I go home to New York. Mm-hmm. I'm always curious, and what I do is I always turn on the Car Hangout app. And as you do, I'm sure you've RV'd.
Absolutely, 100%.
You've RV'd across the entire country, yep. Which is freaking nuts. But that app I have on standby, okay? I flip my phone open. Yes, I do have a flip phone because I like it. And I open it, and I go through it, and I see what's near me. And if it happens to fall within the time frame that I'm in that vicinity, I'll go check out a car show for sure.
Yep. Absolutely.
Big shout out to Car Hangout app for always being a part of what we do, for being friends and partners. Thank you so much to Car Hangout app.
Yeah, thank you.
And I mean the thing that people and this is a thing that goes back to the question about do's and don'ts. The thing that you get from Top Gear is not that they're the best cinematography and the highest value cars and everything. It's that the presenters knew what they were doing. They were very entertaining. They were experts at what they do because they made it look simple.
Yeah.
If anybody has ever tried to look into a camera and talk to it as if you know what you're talking about, it is really hard, especially if you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. And then you tried to weave a story and you tried to have like comedic beats and stuff like that. That is really, really hard. So the reason why it did well is because those three people had they knew how to act on camera, and they also had really good chemistry together.
Yeah. They could bounce off each other no matter
endlessly.
what.
At the core of it, there were just three guys. They weren't celebrities that they were, handpicked for this demographic or that demographic.
Which is what the U.S. version tried to do, and it failed miserably.
Yes.
Yeah. It was decent, and it was watchable, but you could tell that these three people, they just, like you said, they were just kind of handpicked because they were well known, right?
I think if you're talking about
Tanner's was, they were all good in their own unique ways.
Okay,
but
I'm about to blow your mind here. Okay,
yeah,
so
go ahead.
So Top Gear US, I think it was called Top Gear USA. So Top Gear USA, which was Adam Ferrara, Rutledge Wood, and Tanner Faust, right? Yeah. That went on for several seasons, and then I believe it got canceled.
You got better and better though.
It did get better and better because they stopped making carbon copies of the UK Top Gear.
Yes.
When they're like, all right, we're going to have a track in the Stig, and like, we're not going to need any of that. They're just doing cheap car challenges. Every single one is a cheap car challenge. And then they can have actual chemistry because the three guys are genuinely like watchable, and they're funny, and they had, it was a good show. By the end of it, I think they really came into their own, and they're legitimately very nice guys.
Yes.
So there was a Top Gear America that went for one season that no one saw, and it was arguably some of the worst TV I have ever seen. It was with, I found it on Prime. It was either on Prime or like Discovery or Motor Trend or something like that, but it's on Prime right now. It only went for one season, and I swear they're trying to bury it. It is with the guy from Prison Break.
Yes. I have seen
the guy from Prison Break. A NHRA drag guy, his name is, I think it's Antron Brown, and then another guy who worked at Top Gear UK. I think his name's Tom Ford. And,
I remember Tom Ford. Yeah.
So Tom Ford
was also on Fifth Gear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So Tom Ford, legitimately a good presenter.
Yeah.
In this was, it's not any fault of his. This was terrible.
He's back on the Top Gear YouTube channel now.
Yes, he is. But this was terrible. In the
is that the cover for that season?
No. So that's Top Gear America. That's with Dak Shepard and Jethro Bovington. So that's the next one. This one was like one season only, and it was bad.
I do remember seeing.
It might be, if you're a Top Gear fan, it's so bad it's good. There we go. Top Gear America.
This guy always scares me.
Yes.
William
Fichtner. Top Fuel Champ, Antron Brown, and Tom Wookie Ford. Yeah. buddy, it's borderline unwatchable. Wow. It's not as bad as whatever War of the Worlds just came out on Prime.
The first new season of Top Gear was really bad. After Clarkson and the three of them left,
yes,
Matt LeBlanc and Chris Harris were the stars of that. And, then basically they dwindled that show down from like 6 or 7 presenters, however many it was, to 3. And it was Chris Harris, Matt LeBlanc, and one more person I forgot. That was pretty good. And then Matt LeBlanc left, and that was not bad either. And then now that whole thing just blew up.
I stopped watching, even though I know they came in their own. It was Chris Harris, Patty McGinnis, and Freddie something McClintoff or something.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know their names, but
Freddie McClintoff.
Yeah, Freddie. Yeah. So I mean, Chris Harris obviously
amazing.
Chris Harris could carry that show on his back.
I think he could.
Yeah, and he knows it too.
Yeah.
But that show, it suffered. And we can get really geeky in Top Gear stuff because I have watched every Top Gear episode like 10 times.
Yeah.
It suffered because they canned Clarkson and the other two presenters went with him.
Of course.
And then BBC acted like nothing happened. Yeah. Like they were like, well, here's a new and improved Top Gear, and then everybody's like, well, it's not good.
Yeah.
This is not good. Yeah. So what I like about this. So the Grand Tour came to an end with the 3 hosts, and they started looking for new people. And the Grand Tour was one thing that is unique to the Grand Tour is that they didn't fire Clarkson.
Yeah, they let them go on their own volition.
Yes. So there has to be I don't know. I actually haven't talked about this at all.
Do you have any NDA before you get into that?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't remember.
I know where you're going with this.
I don't
Obviously,
remember.
I'm privy to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I don't remember. So everything that I talk about now is in a video game in Minecraft.
This is all Roblox and fake.
This is Roblox, and this happened to me in a dream.
In Roblox, you were asked to
audition for the new Grand Tour.
Cool. In Roblox.
Wow. In Roblox.
The Grand Tour in Roblox.
In a video game.
In the video game version of
my dream.
Yes.
So it was pretty it's insane. Like I was it's absolutely insane. But there were kind of several rounds of auditions. So got through the first one, which was like you just talk to people, and then you see, they try to see what kind of what kind of car person you are, what kind of things you're into, and they asked me a bunch of questions, and it was generally fine. This is all in the UK. And then there was another one where it's like a chemistry test. So it's me, and 2 other people, and we're now in a sound stage, and they put us in different scenarios. Like
that's cool.
Yeah, they sit down like this, and we have cards that we pick out. And then we just talk about this topic, and it could be like speed cameras, or like talk about the new BMW 5 Series, or talk about whatever, and you just kind of riff off each other. And then there's another one where we had to make like this little like a go-kart made out of wood. But which usually would take like a few hours to make, but we had 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So we had to kind of hobble this together and then make it entertaining. And then there was a review element.
Wow, they really put you through the ringer.
Yeah. So it was like four or 5 things that we had to do there. But a review element where we have 2 minutes of just talking to camera, and we have like a prepared speech about something on like some element of a car that we could talk about for 2 minutes. That would be like presentery. So I did something on the GT86 about the engine and stuff like that. So it was really, really cool. Like, so apparently I passed that as well.
Right.
And the I'm not gonna talk about the other 2 people that I was there with, but they're also very prominent and would have been great. Would have been fantastic for this. But then they said, okay, cool. We want you to go through to the next round, lightning round, right? And they said the next round is going to be a 3-day shoot. And it's going to be, we'll cover tickets and all that stuff. And we're going to, it wasn't like, we're going to give you this lavish lifestyle. They're like, we're going to give you economy tickets to come over here and film this.
Spirit Airlines.
Yeah, Spirit. I didn't know Spirit Airlines went to UK, but yeah.
They will for Grand Tour.
Yeah,
Roblox.
Yeah, Frontier. Yeah, in Roblox in a video game. And like a few weeks went by and I didn't hear anything from them, and then I asked, hey, are you what's up with I haven't heard from you guys, and then they gave me and the other two guys that I was there doing the audition with. They gave us the same email the same day. It was like, thanks, but no thanks. Yeah. They're like, hey, it was really, really cool working with you, but we're going to go in a different direction. I think they just found somebody else who I think now, I don't know if it's been officially, whatever, but it's the guys from Throttle House.
I think that was made official. Yeah.
So maybe I don't know, but the Throttle House guys, and then that dude, I can't remember his name. The guy who trains on TikTok.
Yes. Yeah. That was official.
But like he's also a character. He's like it's not really him.
Yeah.
So it's like Larry the Cable Guy. Like Larry the Cable Guy is not a real person. So Cletus McFarland is not a real person. So
you mean Stephen Colbert was not a Republican that flipped?
What?
Are
you?
That is insane.
I don't believe that. So it's really funny, but I think this. If this is the lineup, I think it could be really good.
That could be good. Yeah, Throttle House is a really good channel.
Are they the guys in Colorado?
No, they're in Canada.
Oh, okay. They're in Canada.
They are. Cause I met up with them at the Quail at Monterey Car Week several years ago, and they are fantastic. First of all, if you want to talk about making Top Gear on YouTube, they do it.
Yeah,
that's it. Their reviews are Top Gear. They hit all the same beats. Their comedic timing is good. They can drive. They can drive the hell out of cars. They have really good cinematography. They have storyline. Everything is really, really, really good.
It is a very high quality channel.
Yeah, and I think they the people at the Grand Tour know what they're doing. From what my experience was with them, they are also car people. They're not it wasn't a committee of people that go well, maybe we need to cater to this demographic and blah blah. They just were what is the best car show we can make?
That's good.
What would you have done with the channel if you got?
No idea.
Yeah,
no idea.
That's a big because that's a big commitment.
It is
gone for months at a time.
It is, but
filming in the most remote locations.
But I thought to myself, if I had the chance to do this and I didn't take it, I would kick myself for the rest of my life.
That'd be nuts.
Yeah. So I was like,
that's a big opportunity.
I was like, if I even if it doesn't, I'm really. It sounds worse than it is, but it would be a pay cut, right? It would be a pay. They didn't even talk about payment or anything like that. But I know that they would not have the budget that the YouTube channel makes.
Yeah.
So, but even then. It would make sense for me to do it just because we were all watching, Clarkson, Hammond, and May do their thing, and then want to aspire to be that, and then to be even just considered to be the successor for that. It's so crazy. It is so crazy.
The trepidation, I would be scared out of my mind.
I'll tell you in Roblox, by the way.
Roblox.
So on the way to the audition, I had a little 2-minute prepared speech about the engine in a Toyota GR86. I had a prepared speech that I made, and it was a 3-hour drive for me to get from where I was in the UK to where the place was. I went over that speech probably 300 times. I was just going over it, and I'm I need to make sure I hit this.
It's like asking out a girl.
Exactly.
Been having a crush on for years.
Yeah. You're just in the mirror hey, so single, huh? Yeah. But I was nervous, which is weird because when I was with other people, I wasn't nervous because you're playing off them.
Yeah.
But once it's you have the cameras on you, you have the lights on you, and they go all right, action, and then you start talking about this car, and you're trying to feel natural and all that. I started getting nervous, and then I'm thinking first of all, if I get this or not, my life is going to be the same. It does there's nothing
is or isn't.
No, it doesn't matter to me because if I don't get this, I don't need this.
Yeah.
I don't need this, and also, this is just talking to a camera, the thing that I do all the time for a living. So might as well have fun with it. And there's no real stakes. And, once that was kind of cemented in my brain, it got a little easier, but still like you get a little bit of like the gravity of the situation. Like, oh,
it's a big deal.
Oh crap. Like
it's a big deal.
This thing that I've been not necessarily aspiring to be, but like this show and this platform that I've put on a pedestal for my entire adult life now is asking if I want to do it. And I'm like, I know I talk a lot. I've been talking about 90% of the podcast, but it's
you are the guest.
You are the guest.
You are the guest.
Oh, well, have at it.
I appreciate it. I have massive imposter syndrome. Like it's crazy that like anytime like working with Frank Stephenson or being invited here or like
I feel like this is I shouldn't be here.
I feel like at some point the cops are gonna come and tell me I can't do this anymore. Wow. Like I feel like everything, like whatever accomplishments I have, they don't really feel like anything because it feels unearned. It feels like I just kind of skated by. Yeah. And it doesn't like it's really weird. It might be a lack of ego thing, like a
self-esteem thing.
Yeah, maybe like a self-esteem.
Do you have a low self-esteem?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Really? Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, but it's because I think ego is like being cocky. Like being confident is fine. I'm pretty confident when it comes to like business interactions and stuff like that. But like I think being boisterous about your own achievements, it's just such a bad trait to have as a human being. And also it's not something that I would attribute to myself. I never, ever, even though I'm again talking 90% of the time here, I never want to be the smartest person in the room. I'm not like, I always want to learn from other people. I want to engage with other people and I want to learn from them and their experiences. And then that will enrich my life.
Okay. Have you ever caught yourself doing that and like trying to pull yourself back?
Not really. Like I try not to do the thing where, like I start saying, oh, well, I know this guy and I know this guy and I know this guy and I've done this and I've done this, because it just seems it starts becoming, it starts looking boisterous to people.
Okay.
And it starts, almost belittling their own experiences. So I think, if people ask me about stuff, sure. Like if we're in a podcast setting and you want to know about, experiences, sure. But I'm not going to be like I'm Tavarish and I rebuilt this car and I rebuilt this car and this is what I do. And this, like, I don't need to do this. Like anytime anybody asks me, hey, where can we find you? I go like, just look up Flooded P1. You'll find me. Yeah. Like just whatever. Yeah.
So you that's crazy. I've never actually, for as long as I've known you, I've never known you to have a low self-esteem.
Oh yeah.
I never pegged you that way.
Yeah. I mean, like, listen, talking about, never mind. Okay. Yeah. I thought we're just
this show is
different podcasts altogether.
This isn't Stern. I've never pegged you that way, to be honest with you. I've never looked at you and said to myself, Freddie's got a self-esteem issue or anything like that. That's actually a first for me.
I don't think it's necessarily an issue, but it's because an issue would imply that that it affects relationships negatively in my life, and it can, but not necessarily. So I tend to think that like I always hear people out, and I always feel like my views are lesser than other people have more valid views than I do. Like that's the way I carry myself usually. So I'm like that way, if something happens and I get upset, like it doesn't really matter. Like I'm not going to make my problems somebody else's problems, like they'll just be on me.
Okay. Wow.
Like I'm not going to say quick example. I would never send food back at a restaurant. I would never do that.
Oh, I try to avoid doing that myself, to be honest with you. Unless it's something I clearly did not order, that I...
Yeah, exactly.
If the burger's got a piece of lettuce on, I'll remove the lettuce.
Yeah. If it's something, like if the food is terrible, I'm not going to go, oh, this is undercooked. I'm just going to be like, well, I'm not going to come back here anymore. Yeah. Like that's fine.
If the steak wasn't done to your specification, will you let them know?
No.
If you got a raw steak... and you ordered medium well, let's say. Not that I do, I'm just saying. Because I know some people get up in arms about temperatures and cooking. But anyways, if you got a raw steak, you wouldn't send it back?
If it was like rare or raw?
Rare. You cut into it and it's rare. You wanted medium.
No, that's fine.
You'd eat it?
That's fine. If it's edible, yeah. If it's inedible, if they give me a piece of food that I'm paying for and it's inedible, then I'll be like, hey, I think there's a problem. But like I would try to make it like, excuse me, I know you got a lot going on. Sorry about that. But I think they might
overly apologetic.
I'm like,
same
way.
I'm
exact same way.
Like,
My wife is like, hey, I want to go tell him, and I'm like, hey, just.
It's okay.
Yeah. You go. You're already on your knees. Yeah. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Overly. Yeah, I do that too. If I ever got a steak and it's like well done, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry to bother you, but I ordered medium. I'm so sorry. I know because the steaks are expensive. I don't know why we're talking about steaks.
Well, I know, but I think, and maybe I'm wrong saying this, but it's maybe just when someone's very humble.
Yeah.
It just. Because even with the Cars and Coffee, and again, it's a Cars and Coffee podcast, is a lot of people, I try to remain humble with everything. And sometimes you tell me, hey, like, I can't believe you did this, or I can't believe you did that in that kind of way. But it's more or less just because, like, for example, if someone bashes where they park, I try to be apologetic about it just because... I try to remain humble.
Yeah.
And this is a conversation you and I had this last Sunday. And it's just because I don't want to like, how can I say this?
You don't want to offend the wait
I don't want to offend anyone or I don't want to make anybody feel bad.
Also because you've watched the movie Waiting with Ryan Reynolds.
Probably.
Have you
of course.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the movie that changes everything for you.
It's just, but it's I think remaining humble is and that's probably where I kind of get the feel that's where you're going with what you're saying.
Maybe I think so. But for me, it's just about maybe it's a problem with my brain where I just feel like I'm just really small, and my entire like the way I make money is I'm by myself talking to a camera.
Yeah,
that camera is attached to millions of people, but like for my entire day, I'm at the shop. Like I wake up at my house, go to the shop, work, come back home. That's it. Mm-hmm. I don't go out to a sea of adoring fans and then like I have this in my life all the time. Like it's only when I go to shows that's when people come up to me and say, hey, I like this and this and this.
I mean, when you're at the shows, when you're whether it's SEMA or Goodwood, because it's been nice like having travel with you, but I also
Goodwood was
walk
rough.
with you, because you get fucking stopped every 10 steps.
Yeah, Goodwood was
waiting for Freddie.
I've never. Yeah, I start feeling bad.
I know.
I feel bad because
we'll wait around.
Yeah, because like my friends are there, and then they're like just waiting around for me. Like you guys
flocked,
go,
man.
Yeah, you guys go and enjoy Goodwood. So UK, I've never been stopped as much as I have in the UK.
You have a big audience there.
And it's crazy because UK is not like it's not my main demographic, but
you
like
have a big audience.
But people are, I think in the UK, I think this is also why Mat Armstrong gets the crazy amount of views that he does, because UK audiences die hard.
Yeah,
they stop everything they're doing when a video comes out that they from a creator that they like. So when I did was it last year? I can't remember what year it was. I think last year I did a build on a Rolls-Royce Wraith.
Yeah. Which I have a piece of, by the way. Tommy gave me the broken umbrella.
There we go. So Rolls-Royce Wraith, and it was Mat Armstrong's parts Rolls-Royce. And the first the first video on that did #1 trending in UK. And this was
from your channel.
From my channel, yeah. So people like flocked to it. It got, million views in like 8 hours, and like it was great. And it's like, oh crap, it's because, this is, I'm associated with Mat Armstrong in this, and I think the video was all right. And
that was a great video.
I think people, they associated me with Matt, so then they're like, well, I gotta stop everything and watch this guy. And now I'm a diehard fan of him.
Yeah.
And that's why it's been great. I love the UK.
Is like, I have to say, in the automotive space of YouTubers, that has got to be the ultimate crossover. In my opinion, I know I'm your friend. So like I told you before, I'm your friend. I'm also your fan, but this is the truth. But you opened up the door for Matt, I think, and really helped take his channel to that next level. That the Gallardo that you had, the burnt one, that helped you with your channel. In a way, the GT3, the Adam LZ car, you know, he was on the upward trajectory, yes.
For sure.
But him being in the States, working with you, working with Jack, that I feel like that just was a little bit of nitrous that kind of took him even further up.
I think I think there, yeah, I agree. Again, this
blowing
is
smoke up your ass.
This is me with imposter syndrome talking. I feel like it was very little of me, but it's funny because I feel the same way about Matt, because when I went to the UK and then he, you know, let me stay at his house, he let me use his lifts and his shop and everything. And he's always been super, super nice to me to the point where he's like, you know, his family is my family. Like it's great. And
his dad's hilarious.
Yeah. His dad's awesome. Like we always just hang out by my pool and like, it's a vibe. And, you know, every time they come over, they stay at my guest house and, you know, they're like, I always say like, hey, you know, you guys, if you want to stay at a hotel or whatever. And then like, no, it's cool. We like staying here. It's a cool vibe. So it's weird because we both have benefits. Maybe I opened up stuff for him. I know he, you know, they've thanked me for things like that, and I can't really. I'm not taking any
You're
credit
not
for this.
Toot your own horn. I understand.
Yeah, I'm not taking any credit because like I feel like I also got, you know, a lot out of the deal. I mean, just being around them and learning how that process is done and learning how much work they put into things and learning how they think of things. And like, and we also bounce ideas off each other. Like, you know, when we talk about YouTube and, you know, I give my input and then he gives in, like, there's a lot of stuff that, you know, we understand. And what's really, really cool. And one of the things that kind of goes into the do's and don'ts, don't compare yourself to other people. But also, like, if you're friends, like, if you become friends with other people in this space and they do better than you are, or they do, like, they have some sort of explosive success, be happy for them. Yeah. Like, I am legitimately happy for Mat Armstrong. Every time he releases a video, you know, and he gets
3 million
5 million views or whatever. And I go and I watch, you know, I watch the video and I'm cheering him on. Like I'm a cheerleader for him, you know, because it's like, I know the amount of work he put in. The video's good. You know, he's not going to let his audience down. And it's great. Like if he gets to the next level of, like, if he gets to 10 million subscribers or whatever, that just tells me that is possible. Yeah. Because nobody else has done that. Right. And then, you know, if I find out something that he didn't know was possible, then I think he's going to, I think, apply the same sort of mindset where he goes, oh, okay, cool. Freddie's doing this. So I'm going to, like, let's try something new, you know? Yeah. So I think we all kind of learn.
I think what's interesting about Matt's channel is we were going back to this. It's the chemistry.
Yes.
People love the chemistry with him and his dad.
Yes.
They I mean, I would say like usually the first 20 comments, the most upvoted or liked comments are about him and his dad. Cherish this moment, your dad's amazing, and all this other stuff. It's
so wholesome.
Yeah.
And they, even when they're not on camera, they legitimately have.
They're the same way.
They're the same way. They're always laughing.
They are.
You can tell when they're in the shop because they're they're just raucous laughter all the time.
It's like they'll just randomly cut in the middle of filming something like the GT3, and they're just laughing, and I'm trying to stay out of the shoot, and I'm looking back like, what the hell's going on there? And they're on the floor laughing about something. But that is true, because they have that relationship.
It's the mindset that they adopt, and it's not just him and his dad; it's everybody.
Relationship I never had with my father. No. I never knew my father. I miss my father.
Yeah. So, like, but even then, you know, people have histories. People have pasts. People aren't perfect. You know, they have dark things that they would like people not to know. They have secrets, and like all these things are true with everybody, and especially, you know, the people that like these creators that have like success on YouTube. But when they're on camera, you see the rapport that they have with the people around them. You see the mindset that they put into their projects. You see how they solve problems, how they go, we have this crashed supercar. How do we get it to run again? How do we get it to drive again? We want it to look better than it did when it left the factory. How do we do that? And it's all just this process, and here's how much everything costs. And like, it's a really cool thing for the viewer to see, because at the end, and Matt does this really well, is you feel like you're a part of it. You feel like at the end, you did this. Like you put some hands on this thing, and now you are emotionally invested in this Revuelto or GTR or whatever it is. Like you feel like you also helped out on the build, and you get that little hit of dopamine, like yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's funny you actually mentioned. And by the way, if you guys have questions, feel free to cut me off.
No. It's entertaining. No. I mean, he's the guest. I mean,
we also don't have a ton of time left. Yeah,
we like to hear about that stuff.
We have 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's funny you mentioned, behind the scenes stuff with other YouTubers, or what YouTubers in generally are off camera. There are people like yourself, Matt, Jack, that I'm obviously good friends with. You guys are genuinely with your fans. I see how you interact with your fans. You're the same on camera, off camera.
I try to be.
Yeah, you try to be, and I think you're really good at it, because I'm the type of person where I'm a little skittish. I don't always like talking to people out in public, and some people have found that off-putting, and he knows that because.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that one.
Yeah. He knows that because somebody, he said, hey, go talk to Arnold about yada yada yada, about some car-related stuff, cars and coffee stuff, and they're like, hey, that guy's a bit of a dick, and it was probably like in the middle of like a show, and I'm trying to organize traffic, but once you get to know me, I'm a nice person, right?
Yeah.
But behind
just
the
like most
scenes,
Russians, you're a little
like
you're a little cold, and then once you get to know them, there's
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Listen, I have a very thick skin, and you have to get know to me, and you don't anyway. My English not so good. What do you want? You have vodka for me? Okay, good. But there is a handful of YouTubers who we've unfortunately found out that are not who they say they are.
Yeah.
Right.
Lately, Manny Koshman has been one of them.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff surrounding all of that. And then Savage Garage, right?
Savage Garage?
Who's the
Savage
YouTuber?
Garage was the guy that killed himself, right?
Yeah.
Randy.
Yeah. I mean, there's people that are out there who are facing, whether they're facing severe depression, personal marital problems, whatever it is, or they're just lying about what they have and their value, or their net worth.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. I mean, just like any car community. But it's really nice to see and refreshing to know that you have a lot of the big YouTubers out there that are actually who they say they are.
And that's probably why they made it. Honestly, because I mean, we see in the Cars and Coffee a lot of people, I have this, I have that.
Yeah.
And they try to make it seem like they have all this bunch of money. And we seen it after that slowdown in 22, let's call it the slowdown in 22, where they were trying to sell the Lamborghini dream and buy my what do you call it? My what's the word I'm looking for here? Like buy my book, buy my video seminar and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
You and then you
What's
become
the guy's name? Chris Elliott? Andy Elliott. The
shorts.
the sales. The guy who's I sell 500 cars in a day.
You buy my course. That's the word. You buy my course, and then next thing you know, you're going to be driving this, and you have a lot of people that will probably empty their bank account to buy these courses,
right?
And then all of a sudden, it's really not. It's just
it's the new pyramid scheme.
So it's horrible, and I see, and I see it, and I'm like, anything, if it's too good to be true, it's more likely it is.
Absolutely.
And the ones that make it out are usually, and they're really big, because I do know some, not as big as your channel or as you, but, in the Mustang community, there's some that are very big and they are very humble. And they are, like you said, who they say they were, and they're no different. You see them, hello, how you doing? One of them is Mustang Lifestyle. He has about 150,000 subscribers. He went to our show the same day you were there.
Cool.
And, people were checking out his Marauder and 1,000 horsepower Marauder they had there. And this guy just likes to build crazy shit.
Well, I talked to him.
Yeah, Andrew.
Yeah.
Andrew.
Yeah, I think it was nuts.
Yeah. He does all kinds of shit and retrofits everything. But anyway, but he's a very, very cool guy. And, people gravitate towards those types of people. And, but when you do know that some people are selling a course, like for example, in our community, there's a kid that sells this get rich course with,
really?
Yeah. I'm not even going to say with what field, because he's going to know who I am.
Otherwise we'll get a cease and
he's not a bad kid, but you can tell they're trying to set him up with a lie. Like it's my car, but in reality it's daddy's cars.
Right.
And
I became a millionaire at 19. It's like, did you really?
Yeah.
Did you really?
That's probably you guys probably know who I'm talking about.
I actually have no idea.
We'll discuss. But anyway, it's crazy because those are the people that are ripping people off, that are not, who they say they are.
Well, I mean, people will always prey, on those who are. If a fool in his money will soon part, right? Is that the saying?
Something like that. I think when it comes to finding people that are trustworthy, and it's hard to do it without having FaceTime with them, like actually spending time with the person. But more often than not, it's not 100%, more often than not, if a person is willing to be vulnerable with you, like early, it's like they're probably okay. Mm-hmm. If a person is portraying themselves as like on this pedestal where they have achieved this and this and this, I mean, they have insecurities and whatnot. Yeah. But like, if they're not willing to be imperfect with you, I find that to be a massive red flag. Like if somebody goes, oh yeah, I have this Lamborghini or I have this Ferrari or whatever, and then here's how I got here, and I did this by this age and whatever. I'm like, hey, so we're just
cool.
We're just dudes. We're just dudes.
Yeah. You mean you're not impressed by my car collection?
Yeah. Like I feel like, listen, Lucids are nice.
Hey, don't forget about that A6. Oh, yes.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's
the same car my dad drives.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, one of the things, and that's sad because some people genuinely, and we get this question asked a lot. You probably get it asked. Your business owner. You get it the same way. And the infamous, what do you do?
Oh, I hate. Honestly, I hate that question.
Some people hate it.
I hate that fucking question.
And because it's personal, right? Mm-hmm. And anytime someone asks me that question, I always say, work hard.
Yeah,
that's the best advice I could give you.
Translation: how much money do you make? That's what that question means.
And they ask, how did you accomplish this? And I just say, just working hard, buddy. I had no education. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like I try to minimize it, but sometimes though, me, especially coming from my background and how, I was, very poor when I was young. We had a very rough life. Mm-hmm. And in Los Angeles, my mom could barely even feed us and all that stuff. And, you want to sometimes make a difference in someone's life and say, hey, man, here's my advice to you. And if they take that and maybe it doesn't, make them rich, but it helps them in their mind to guide them into the right path, right? That's because that's one of the things I love to do is if I can ever give someone just one sentence mm-hmm. that they can use to it's not a genie in the bottle, right? Where you can rub it and ask 3 wishes and that's mm-hmm. how it works. But where he could say, you know what? I need to move this direction. And then he takes it from there. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty cool feeling. You know what I mean? Because it's, especially with like me who single mom, didn't have a father. I didn't have the person that was telling me do this or do that, right? I had to fend for myself.
A little wayward, yeah. I mean, this would be something we could talk about another time, but can I?
Yeah.
You were in a gang.
Yeah, absolutely.
Growing up in a pretty bad part of Los Angeles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like not like a West Side Story gang, like an actual.
Cholo, yeah. Like really bad, really bad, yeah.
That's how him and Noel G they bonded. They had this cool bond.
Yeah.
So anytime I have a person in front of me that has a vastly different experience, I'm fascinated.
Yeah.
It's crazy what I've lived in life. And I could probably write a book, honestly. And
write a book.
And I don't want to make this based on my history and my past, but you know, I've even reached out to like local correctional facilities and say, hey man, can I go talk to these kids and see if I can make that one sentence, right? So it's what
would that one sentence be?
I think it's situational, honestly, because for example, in the correctional facility, right? You know, when I was 15 years old, I got arrested for 2nd degree armed robbery and made a deal with the judge. And made the deal with the judge, and the judge looked at me, he's like, hey, because I always had good grades at school, and my teachers loved me, but I was brought up in this real bad neighborhood, right? So you kind of get drawn to it. So in that particular situation would be like, you know what? If I was able to make a change, so can you. And that's in that situation. That's what I would say. Okay. And it's crazy, and we do have to talk about this because if it can help someone, you know, because it's sad. Like my brother went to prison at 15 for murder 1. He'll be out in 27.
Oh wow.
And he's been locked up since he was 15.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, I mean, I could go on and go on and go on, and you're right. That's how Noel.
That's a topic, for another episode, just like when we get more personal. Yeah. But dude, this has been really cool. We spent 2 hours, like 2 hours literally
flew
melted.
by.
They flew by. It melted.
Well, we'll end it on this. If I have one sentence to impart to you know, young men that want to do something like this, it's not about the length, it's the girth. So that's it.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
On that bombshell. This is Top Gear's podcast.
There we go.
On that disappointment. No, really, thank you for coming out.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't. I was like, let me get my gears and like, let's get this podcast a little more legs. And you're like, no, dude, let's do it now. Like, you don't have to. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's do it on the 5th episode. You came out big time. I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
You know, I always love hanging out with you. You're always a lot of fun to be with. I really do love hanging out with you, making stupid jokes. So we're going to sign off. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Pete, thank you for being here again, as always. Pete Details on Instagram. Hector, Cars and Coffee, Winter Garden on Instagram. This is Arnold. I'm signing out. Thanks for everybody for being here. Thanks to everybody for being here. Until next time.
See you guys.